Good morning, students. In the previous session of this chapter, trigonometric functions, I had taught you about the allied angle. That is, when you consider an angle theta, if it is expressed as 90 plus or minus theta, 180 plus or minus theta, 270 plus or minus theta and 360 plus or minus theta, all these angles, they are called as the allied angles of angle theta. Now, suppose the angle crosses 360 degree, or if it lies between 0 and 360 also, whatever may be the quadrant, how to find the value of that one? For that, I had given you 3 rules, rule 1, rule 2 and rule 3. Rule 1 and 2 give us the value of the trigonometric ratio. So, it is 90 or 290 plus or minus theta or 270 plus or minus theta. We can, the function gets changed over to co-function. So, sine, cosine, secant, cosecant, tan and cot are the pairs of the co-functions, 3 pairs of the co-functions. Similarly, if the angle is expressed as 180 plus or minus theta or 360 plus or minus theta, the same trigonometric function continues. And the third rule, that is rule 3, gives you the sign of the trigonometric ratio. In the first quadrant, all the ratios are positive. In the second, sine and cosecant are positive, means the remaining 4 would be negative. Similarly, in the third quadrant, tan and cot are positive, the remaining 4 are negative. In the fourth quadrant, cos and secant are positive, the other 4 are negative. So, using this fact and using the 2 rules here, we can find out the value of and sign of any trigonometric ratio, however big that angle may be or however small that angle may be. So, we consider the quadrantal angles 180, 270, 360 and I wrote that in the form of a table. So, with the help of that table, we got another information that whatever may be the value of theta, the value of sin theta and cos theta always lie between minus 1 and plus 1, whereas for tan theta it is a real number between minus infinity, of course it is open interval, minus infinity plus infinity. Of course, I had mentioned that I will be discussing about the domain and the range of that one. Now, here I am considering that as a function, trigonometric ratios I was considering. Now, I am telling you trigonometric ratios. You take this trigonometric functions we consider, y equal to sin x and y equal to cos x. I hope remember the definition of a function which I taught in the previous chapter. That is, if an element belonging to the first set A or the domain is associated with some element of the second set, which we call it as a codomain, under the function f, generally we write it as y is equal to fx. F is a function from the domain to codomain here. Now, here it is in general I had written, now in particular we can write it as y equal to sin x. Here I am considering the trigonometric functions, y equal to sin x and y equal to cos x. So, what is the domain of this one? For both of them, the domain is the set of the real numbers. Any real value you can assign, you can give for x here. So, the real number, the set of the real number is the domain for both the functions. And what would be the range here? Range is for both of them, it is minus 1, 1, that is the closed interval. And similarly, for here also it is minus 1, that is, I told you, that is what I told in the previous one by looking at the values here. So, whatever may be the value of x here, y equal to sin x and y equal to cos x for both the functions, this is the domain and that is the range of the function. Now, we consider the next ratios. So, this is for sin x as well as cos x. Now, consider the other ratio, say y equal to tan x, y equal to tan x. Now, here you can give any value for x, but one condition you have to remember. See, when we are discussing about the values of tan theta in for tan 90 as well as tan 270. See, tan 90, what happens? Tan 90 means it is sin 90 divided by cos 90, isn't it? And you know that sin 90 is 1, cos 90 is 0. So, we get 0 here. So, division by 0, it is not defined. Usually, we write it as tan 90 to be equal to not defined. But for all the practical purposes, sometimes we denote it I've told this so many times while discussing. Here infinity is not a number. So whenever we get 0, we write, actually it is not defined where to write. We just to denote it as infinity. It's a huge number. That is the meaning of this one. Therefore, here what happens, you can give any value for x. Suppose you give 90, 270 like that, those values, no? What happens here, that is 90 means 1 pi, 1 into pi by 2, 270 means 3 into 5 by 2. The next is 5 into 5 into pi by 2, 7 into pi by 2. That means all the odd multiple of pi by 2. So whenever you give those values, no, it is not defined. Therefore, you can write here x belongs to R, that is the domain, but x is not equal to, generally when you write like this, 2n pi 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, where n is an integer. So this becomes the domain of that one. So that means it is an odd multiple of pi by 2. If you give n equal to 0, it is 1 pi by 2, n equal to 1, 3 pi by 2, what I told just now. So where n is an integer here, negative or positive side. So you can give any value but for these values. Then what would be the value of tan x here? It would be a set of the real number. That is what I wrote, minus infinity to plus infinity, or you can write it as the open interval. Like this also you can write, it is like this, we write minus infinity plus infinity. So this information I gave in the previous session. Now let me consider next y is equal to cosecant x. See, these things usually have not been asked in the examination or test. But you should know, because you already learnt about the domain and the range in the previous chapter. I am just considering the domain and range of these trigonometric functions in particular. There we were discussing about in general. We have discussed some algebraic functions also, and we have drawn the graph of those functions also. Here I am considering the trigonometric functions. Next, let me take y equal to cosecant x. Now here again, the domain is x belongs to R. But some values you have to see, you have to omit. The reason is sin 0 is 0. We have seen that in the previous session. Sin 0 is 0 means cosecant is 1 by sin x, isn't it? That means at 1 by 0 it is not defined. Similarly, sin 180 or sin pi equal to 0 means cosecant pi becomes 1 by 0, which is not defined. That means that it cannot take the value n pi. So 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi like that, okay. So it is x is not equal to n pi, generally we write where n is an integer. Now this is the domain of the function y is equal to cosecant x. Then what would be the range? Range means the value of y here. See, we have seen that sin x lies between minus 1 and plus 1. So because this being the reciprocal of that one, it would be either y would be less than or equal to minus 1, or it would be greater than or equal to plus 1. That is, omitting those values, no, it will take the other values. Of course, equality is there, because sin 90 is 1, then cosecant 90 will also be equal to 1. So either it would be less than or equal to minus 1, or it would be greater than or equal to plus 1. So this is the domain, and that is the range of the function. Similarly, when you consider y is equal to secant x, here again first we consider x belongs to R, and also we have seen in the earlier session cos 90 is 0, isn't it? Therefore, secant being the reciprocal of cos, it becomes 1 by 0, which is not defined. Therefore, again same thing you can write, x would not be equal to 2n plus 1, the odd multiple of this one, n being an integer. So it can take all the real values but for these values. So this is the domain of this one. Range is just like the previous one, cosecant x. Either it would be less than or equal to minus 1, or it would be greater than or equal to plus 1, because the values of cos x lie between minus 1 and plus 1. Similarly, come to the last function, it is y is equal to cot x. When you take y equal to cot x, what values you can assign for x here? See, again, first value is x belongs to R. But here again, you know that tan 0 is 0. So cot being the reciprocal of tan, 1 by 0 it becomes. So that value has to be avoided. Then tan 180 is also 0. Tan 360, that is 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, all of them would be 0. So just like the for cosecant we have to write x is not equal to n pi, where n is an integer, and of course this would be the set of the real numbers, that becomes the domain of this one. So this is for information sake, I am just telling all these things. So whatever rules you have learnt in the previous session, now using them I am going to work out some problems. So in now I am working out some problems on allied angles. Allied angles. Now listen to me carefully. Here two types of problems I am going to work out. In the first type, I will give you one trigonometric value of one trigonometric function. Using that one, you have to find the values of the remaining 5 trigonometric functions, and that x will be specified, which quadrant that angle is lying. So you know now that in the first quadrant all of them are positive, all the ratios are positive. Second quadrant sine and cosecant are positive. Third one tan and cot are positive. Fourth one secant and cos are positive. So you have to bear that in mind, in which quadrant which ratio would be positive or negative. Now I am not giving a particular value here, it is given in the form of a ratio, that is sin x equal to 1 by 2, cos x equal to 2 by 3, something like that it would be given. So the instruction is like this: find the values of the other 5 trigonometric functions given the value of any one trigonometric function. So this is the common instruction for the problems which I am going to work out. First problem is sin x is equal to 3 by 5. Here it would be mentioned in which quadrant the angle x lies. So in this problem, x lies in the second quadrant. X lies in the second quadrant. X lies in the second quadrant. Now to know the values of the other 5 trigonometric ratios, what are they? Cos x, tan x, secant x, cosecant x, and the other one. Okay. So sin is given, cosecant x, cos x, secant x, tan x, and cot x. So these are the 5 remaining ratios whose values, remaining functions whose values you have to calculate. Now here 3 by 5. So it is a valid value, because you know that the value of sin x lies between -1 and +1. So this is a valid value, but not a standard value. Okay, it is not like 30, 45, 60 like, it is not a standard value but a valid value. So whenever a ratio is given in the form of a ratio, you can use the identity and get the values of the other functions also. That is also correct. But here I feel it is better you draw the triangle, that is better. Now draw the triangle here. You can take anything. Let me take ABC. Mark this as angle x. Now look at this, it is given. See, sometimes the ratio that is given to you would be negative also. But one thing I am telling you, don't write the negative sign in the triangle. Don't write the negative sign in the triangle, because that may be confusing for you. So write only the numerical value, sin x equal to 3 by 5. I go to the basic definition of sin theta. How do you define? Opposite over the hypotenuse. So here for this angle x, opposite is 3, hypotenuse is 5. Okay. Now that is AB is 3 and AC is 5. So we have to calculate BC here. So it is a right angle triangle, as you know. So naturally we make use of the Pythagoras theorem here. How do you get this one? See, we know that it is AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square. So AB square means it is 3 square plus BC square is equal to 5 square. So naturally BC square would be equal to 5 square minus 3 square, 25 minus 9, that would be 16. Therefore BC is equal to 4. So this side becomes 4 unit. Here unit is not important, which whatever it may be centimeter, inch or whatever it is. So BC is equal to 4. Here look at where exactly it is lying. X lies in the second quadrant. You know that sin theta is positive or sin x is positive in the second quadrant. That is why the sign has been given as a positive one. Now we have to calculate the remaining values of the remaining 5 trigonometric functions. See, in that one actually that 4 can be written minus, don't write that minus sign there. That is always confusing. Now let me go to the remaining functions, cosecant x, because in the second quadrant cosecant is also positive, which is the reciprocal of sine. So write that first. Whatever ratio is given, write the reciprocal first. Then we will come to the other ratios. Cos x would be equal to, now look here, look at this one, which quadrant x is lying? It is in the second quadrant. So first to write the minus sign, because you know that only these two are positive in the second quadrant. So that's why I am telling not to write the sign there, it may be confusing. So in the diagram you just write only the numerical value. Then here looking at the angle and the ratio, you decide about the sign. These two are positive. So all the remaining 4 would be negative. First write the sign. Then how do you define cos x? Adjacent over the hypotenuse. So it is minus 4 by 5. You could have written there also minus 4. That is really confusing. Next you write secant x. It is the reciprocal of this one. Therefore minus 5 by 4. Then let me write tan x. Tan x here again in the second quadrant, tan is negative. Write the minus sign. How do you define tan? Opposite over the adjacent side. So it is minus 3 by 4. Finally, the cot x would be the reciprocal. If you write 1, the reciprocal is easy to write here. So this is how we have to calculate. So one ratio is given. Now suppose it is given as minus here. In the figure don't write the minus sign. Okay, of course hypotenuse is always a positive quantity, either the opposite would be negative or the adjacent would be negative. So that may be a little bit confusing. So even if it is negative given, say minus 3 by 5, x is lying in the third quadrant, it may be given. In that case also don't write the minus sign in the figure. Only looking at the angle and the quadrant and the ratio, remembering which ratio is positive or negative in which particular quadrant, you write the sign, appropriate sign for the trigonometric ratios. So this is the procedure we adopt to solve the problems like this. So you have to be a little bit careful and you should have all the information by heart. Okay, then only you can solve the problems of this particular type. Now let me move on to the next one. Cos x is equal to minus 3 by 5. Say I took a positive value in the earlier case, I am taking a negative value. Now x is in third quadrant. X is in third quadrant. This is how here all the 5 usually will not be given. For a 1 or 2 mark question, no, 1 or 2 ratios would be asked. Suppose cos x is given, they may ask you find tan x and sin x, like that. All the 5 usually are not given in the examination. Now let me consider the triangle here. For each problem you have to draw different triangles here. Now look at the ratio that has been given. Cos of x is minus 3 by 5. And where does the angle x lie? It lies in the third quadrant. You know that in the third quadrant, tan and cot are positive. All the remaining 4 are negative. That is why it has been given as the negative sign here. And how do you define the cos ratio? It is adjacent over the hypotenuse. So adjacent is 3 and hypotenuse is 5. Okay, so that's what I told in the previous problem. This minus sign, actually this is minus only, but don't write the minus sign there. It is confusing. Now, again making use of the Pythagoras theorem, we have to get the side AB here. So side AB means, how do you write this one? AB square equal to AC square minus BC square. AC square means 5 square minus 3 square, that is 25 minus 9, that is 16. Hence, it is AB would be equal to 4. So, here this is 4. Actually, this is also negative, even that would be negative. That is why I am telling you, do not write the sign there. Now, let me write the remaining, so cos has been given to us. So, immediately you can write the reciprocal of this one, because the same sign, only the number would be reciprocated. Now, let me come to the remaining ratios, remaining functions, sin x. Now, sin x, you know that we are considering the angle x in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, even sin is also negative. So, and how do you define sin? Opposite over the hypotenuse. Write the minus sign. Opposite is 4, hypotenuse is 5. So, it is minus 4 by 5. Immediately write the cosecant, because that is also negative, only the value is reciprocated. Next, you come to tan x here. Now look here, x is in third quadrant. So, in the third quadrant, you know that both tan and cot are positive. How do you define tan here? Tan is opposite over the adjacent side. So, it is 4 divided by 3. Strictly speaking, here we have to write minus, even that would be minus, then it is minus minus, they get cancelled and we will be getting 4 by 3. So, some students find difficult to remember all those things. That is why I tell the students to write only the numerical value in the triangle. Now, cot x is adjacent over the opposite side. So, this is how we have to find out. So, this in which quadrant the angle is lying, that is one thing you have to remember. You have to look at it and decide about that, and which ratio is positive, negative in a particular quadrant, that information also you have to remember. Then it will not be difficult to work out any problem of this particular type. Okay. Now, let me move on to the next problem. Now, in the next problem, I am giving you the tan ratio. Tan x equal to minus 5 by 12. Tan x equal to minus 5 by 12, and where does x lie? It lies in the second quadrant. X is in the second quadrant. That is why I have given the minus sign, because you know that in the second quadrant, which are positive, only sine and cosecant are positive, all the remaining are negative. Therefore, let me consider the triangle again and then try to find the value of the remaining side. So, whenever a trigonometric function is given, always two sides of the triangle will be known to us. Adjacent or opposite or hypotenuse, whatever may be that one, two sides would be known to us, because all of them are trigonometric ratios, two values would be given. Only the remaining value, always use the Pythagoras theorem, because we are discussing about the right angle triangle. Using the Pythagoras theorem, you can get the value of the remaining side of the triangle. Now, here tan is defined as opposite over the adjacent side. So, this is 5 and this is 12. Do not write minus sign to any one of these. Now, here hypotenuse has to be calculated. That is, what is AC square equal to AB square plus BC square? That is 5 square plus 12 square. 5 square is 25, 12 square 144. So, this is 169 AC square, which implies that AC would be equal to 13. So, the hypotenuse is 13. Now, these are some standard values. If you could remember, directly you can write. Suppose you are having 3, 4 here, or 3, 4, that would be 5. Here 5, 12 or 12, 5, that would be equal to 13. But the better you show the calculation directly, do not write, and do not write the sign in the figure. Now, tan x has been given as minus 5 by 12. So, immediately let me write the reciprocal. It is minus 12 by 5. Okay. Next, come to sin x. Now, second quadrant means, you know that sin is positive. Write the positive sign first. Then, how do you define a sign? Opposite over the hypotenuse. This is 5 divided by 13. Immediately, you write cosecant x, that is also plus 13 by 5. Next, come to tan x. Tan x has been given. So, write it as cos x here. cos x, second quadrant, again cos is negative, write the minus sign. How do you define cosine? It is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. Hence it is 12 divided by 13. Similarly, the secant x being the reciprocal, it is minus 13 by 12. So, one ratio is given, you can immediately write the reciprocal. And afterwards also one ratio, write the reciprocal, so that you will not be missing any ratios here. So, remember this procedure. So, always always see that which quadrant that angle has been given to us, and which ratio is positive or negative in a particular quadrant. Now, let me consider another ratio, cos x is equal to minus half. Cos x is equal to minus half, and x lies in the third quadrant. X lies in the third quadrant. Now, again third quadrant means you know that the sign only tan and cot are positive, the remaining are negative. Okay. So, here cos, secant, sin, cosecant, all of them are negative. So, immediately you can write secant x equal to minus 2 by 1 or minus 2. In this particular problem, you can see that it is half is a standard value, isn't it? Cos theta is equal to half means theta is equal to 60 degree. But since we are following the same procedure, in this particular problem, it has been given as a standard value, but you might have observed in all the previous one, it was not given so. Therefore, better you follow the same procedure. How do you define cos here? It is adjacent over the hypotenuse. So, it is 1 and this is 2, isn't it? Adjacent is 1, hypotenuse is 2. How do you get this one? Square root of, it is AB square equal to square of the hypotenuse and the square of the adjacent side, that would be 3. Therefore, AB would be equal to square root of 3. So, this is the opposite side of the particular triangle or the other side of the triangle. Now, I have written the cos x and secant x. Let me come to the next ratio, sin x. In the third quadrant means sin is also negative. How do you define? Opposite over the hypotenuse. It is root 3 by 2. Immediately you write the reciprocal. It is minus 2 by root 3. And then is tan x. Now remember, tan is positive in the third quadrant, and how do you define? It is opposite over the adjacent side, that is root 3 by 1, or you can write it as square root of 3. Finally, cot x, it is the reciprocal of this, means it is 1 by root of 3. So, this is the procedure we follow. So, always see the ratio. If it is given as minus or plus, do not worry about that one. In the figure, better you do not write the sign, that may be confusing for you. Now, this is one type of problem we can discuss about this one, that is given one particular trigonometric function, and the domain, that is the means where exactly that x is lying, which quadrant that angle x is lying. Depending upon that one, since you know the information about the quadrant where exactly a particular ratio would be either positive or negative. So, using that information and also considering that particular angle and a particular ratio, it would be either negative or positive, but always better, because all these are valid values which are given, the values for sin, cos, tan, cot, etc. They are all valid, but not standard value like 30 degree, 45 degrees, like that. It is not so. Therefore, make it a habit to write the triangle. Of course, the same thing can be calculated using the identities also, that is sin square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. But I feel it is better to consider a triangle, you will not have any confusion. But in the triangle, do not ever write the sign there. So, sign has to be decided looking at the angle and the ratio that you are considering. This is one type of problem you can expect. Next is find the value of, find the value of a particular trigonometric function. Usually it can be expected for a 2-mark question. First one, sine of 765 degrees. In this one I am giving you the angle either in degree or in radian measure. Okay. So, you have to be familiar with that one. That is why I have taught you the radian measure here. Remember the corresponding values also. It is 30 degree pi by 6, 45 degree pi by 4 and 60 degree pi by 3 and 90 degree pi by 2 and 180 degree would be equal to pi. And similarly, I had just given you all, we had done it as a problem, I solved it as a problem, but you have to remember for the corresponding values of the standard angles even in radian measure also, because the problems which I am going to work out now, either it would be in degree or radian measure, you have to be familiar with both of them. Now, I had mentioned in the previous session, if the angle crosses 360 degree, I think I showed you one example also. If it crosses 360, what you have to do? That is, you know that after completion of one round, this is 0 degree and this would be equal to 360. So, from this angle if you subtract 360, you will be getting some angle. Now, again if it is less than 360, okay, otherwise no, you have to subtract another 360 here with from this one, then you will be getting a simple an acute angle or whatever obtuse angle may be. Okay. So, here instead of subtracting again and again, because one complete rotation, once you go around the origin here, you will be completing 360 degrees. Each time instead of subtracting, you divide by that one. That is a method I suggested you. So, write it as 765 divided by 360. Now, you can see that you can divide 2 times here. So, what is remaining? 45 degrees. So, first you write the number in this particular form. It is sine of 360 into 2. That is, see, I told you 362 times you have to subtract. The same thing I have written in another way, that is all. And what is the remainder? Write the remainder. It is 45. If you multiply these two, 720 plus 45, you get back the original number. Now, I am using a quadrantal angle. Always the angle is expressed either using 90, 180, 270, 360. Just omit this part. Consider only this value, that would be sine of 45. And what is the value of sine? You can see that it is the standard value, hence we have 1 by root of 2. So, this is the value of the trigonometric function sine of 765 degrees. So, if the angle is more than 360, less than 360, directly you can make use of the rules of the allied angle and express the angle in different ways. If the angle crosses 360, divide the number and first write this in this form. Directly do not take sine 45, it is not correct. First you have to express the angle in this form. Then for the remainder part, here of course we got an acute angle directly. Suppose the remainder may be 120 degree, 150 degree, 240 degree, 300 degrees. In that case now, again for this part you have to use the rules of the allied angle. You may have to express 90 plus something or 180 minus something or 270 plus something or minus something. So, you have to use those rules here to express this part of this. Here in this problem, I have got an acute angle directly, for which I could write the value of this one. So, if it is not an acute angle, again use the rules, allied angle rules, express it, use the positive negative sign appropriately and arrive at the result. So, this is the procedure we follow when a particular angle is given. Now, let me move on to next problem. Cosecant of minus of 1410 degrees. See, again in the previous session I had given the values of trigonometric ratios of minus theta. What is sine of minus theta? What is cos of minus theta? What is tan of minus theta? Sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. The same thing holds good for cosecant also. Cos of minus theta is plus cos theta. Same thing for secant also. Tan of minus theta is minus tan theta. Same rule for cot theta, cot of minus theta also. So, first we make use of that result. Directly do not divide here. First write sine of cosecant of minus theta is minus cosecant theta. Always solve the problem step by step so that you will not be missing anything. You can solve the problems correctly. Now consider the angle 1410 degrees. Now let me divide this by 360 degrees. It is not 1 time, 2 time, 3 time you can divide. 1080. Now subtract 0, 11 minus 8, 3, and this is 3. So how many times you have divided? 3 times. See what's the remainder? It is 330 degrees. In the previous problem, you got 45. Directly you could find the value because it was an acute angle lying between 0 and 90. So first let me write it as cosecant of, better you use the square bracket. It is 360 into 3 plus 330. If you multiply this one 1080 plus this one, we get back the original angle. Now neglect this part and write it as minus cosecant of 330 degrees. 330 degrees. Now look here, which quadrant that 330 lies? It lies in the fourth quadrant between 270 and 360. So I can use the rule of the allied angle. There are two ways of expressing. One is you can write 270 plus 60, one method, or 360 minus 30. But you have to remember, if you use 270, cosecant should be changed over to secant, the co-function. Or if you write it as 360 minus 30, the same function continues. So I prefer to express either using 180 degree or 360 because there will not be any change of the function here. Therefore, let me write it as minus cosecant of, write it as 360 minus 30 degrees. 360 minus 30 degrees. Now, I am discussing about an angle in the fourth quadrant. Look at the ratio. Ratio is cosecant, angle is in the fourth quadrant where cosecant is negative. But already we have got a minus sign here. So, write it as minus of. This minus I am writing. Cosecant of 360 minus theta is minus cosecant theta or minus cosecant 30. Now minus of minus, it is plus cosecant 30. Cosecant 30 is a standard value that is equal to 2. So what's the answer here? It is plus 2. Though it was given as a negative angle, the negative, what do you mean by negative? We measure the angle in the clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise, it is taken as positive. Only the sign shows that in which direction we are doing the calculation. Okay. So this is how we have to find the value of the trigonometric function of a particular angle. So depending upon the angle that is given, you see if it is crosses 360, always divide. That is that will not be that will be easy for you to solve the problem. Now next problem, cos of, again I am considering 1710 degrees, cos of minus of 1710 degrees. Now I am using the fact about the trigonometric ratios of the negative angle. You know that cos of minus theta is cos theta. If you want, you can give the reason in the working column. Cos of minus theta is cos theta. In the previous problem also you could have written cosecant of minus theta is minus cosecant of theta. To I mean, for whatever you have written, that is an explanation for having written this particular step. It is 1710, cos of 1710 degrees. So that minus sign has been taken into consideration. So now come to the angle 1710 degrees. How many times you can divide? I think you can divide it 4 times. One time is 720, one time 360, 2 times 720, 1080, 1440, like that. 5 times means it becomes 1800. So you can divide this 4 times 1440, 0, 7, and here it is 6 minus 4, that would be equal to 2. So it is 270 degrees. So let me express that one. Cos of 360 into 4 plus 270 degrees. In the first problem also, I got 45, which was an acute angle. It was a standard value. The same thing is happening in this problem also. So, omitting this one, you write it as cos 270. It is a quadrantal angle whose value you already calculated in the earlier session. I had given you in the form of a table also. Cos 90 is 0, cos 270 is also equal to 0. So, when you come across a standard value, you can directly write the value of that one, because that is why we call them as the standard angles. You need not do any calculation, directly you can solve the problem here. Now, in these problems, I had considered the angle in degrees. Because you are more familiar with the degrees, it was easy for us to do the calculation. But do not expect always the angle to be given in degrees. Okay? It can be given in the radian measure also. Suppose it is given in the radian measure, better you do in the radian measure only. Now, how do you write this one? It is sine of, next problem I am giving using the radian measure, 31 pi by 3. It is quite a big number, 31 pi by 3. Now, what was the method we adopted when it was given in degrees? We divided that by 360 degree, because one full round means angle was 360 degree, and 2 pi, it is a even integer, isn't it? When you come one round, it is 2 pi, another round 4 pi, another round 6 pi, another round 8 pi, because I am considering the radian measure, I am writing in terms of pi only. So, one more round, it is 10 pi. So, it will be the even multiple of pi here, 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi, 10 pi. That means we are coming back to the original position, the 0 position here. So, what we do is here, first it is given as 31 by 3. Keep that pi as it is, 31 divided by 3. See, I am giving the easy method which usually students find easier. How many times you can divide? 3 ones are 3 and 1 it cannot be divided. So, you can write this as, let me first express in terms of, there I wrote 360 into some number, no? Same thing I am writing here, that 10 you write, 10 pi plus what is the remainder? 1 is the remainder, you can write it as pi by 3. Look here, it is the addition of two fractions, correct? You can take the LCM. What is the LCM? LCM is 3. 3 tens are 30. 30 pi plus 1 pi. That is, if you take the LCM like this, it is 30 pi plus 1 pi. That would be equal to 31 pi by 3. Same thing, what has been given to you. I am just rewriting that one. Now, just now I told you 360 and second number 720, 1080, 1440 and 5 times means it is 1800, like that. It is as good as considering the same thing. 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi, 10 pi, we come back to the original position. So, neglecting this one, you can write it as sine of pi by 3. Now, pi by 3, the angle is in radian measure, which is equal to 60. Pi by 3 means 60 degree. Therefore, the value, we got an acute angle in this case also. So, we can write it as root 3 by 2, which is the standard value. Here it has been given to us. So, this is the procedure you have to follow. That is, if it is given in degree or radian measure, the same procedure we are adopting. Next problem is tan 19 pi by 3. Always need not be 3, it can be 4, 5, 6, any number it can be. 19 pi by 3. So, let me divide 19 by 3. Take only the number. How many times? 3, 6 are 18 and 1 is remaining. So, how could you express this one? Tan of 6 pi plus again pi by 3. 1 is the remainder, pi by 3, 1 into pi. You multiply, take the LCM, 3, 6 are 18 plus 1, that is 19 pi by 3. So, it is an even multiple here, 6 pi, isn't it? Therefore, you can neglect this one and write it as tan pi by 3. Now tan of pi by 3 again is 60 degree, which is a standard value. Therefore, the standard value directly could be written as root of 3. So, remember this method for solving the problem. And one more problem where I am having a negative angle in the radian measure only, then I will conclude the session. So, it is sine of minus 11 pi by 3, sine of 11 pi by 3. So, here first I use the fact that sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. So, let me write it as minus sine of 11 pi by 3, 11 pi by 3. Now, let me divide 11 by 3, okay, that is 11 you divide by 3. Now, how many times you can divide? 3 3s are 9 and 2 is remaining. So, let me write it as minus sine of that quotient, that is 3 pi plus here, see in the previous two problems it was 1 was the remainder. So, 1 pi by 3 we wrote, here it is 2 pi by 3, 2 pi by 3. See here I am using positive sign. Suppose you had written 3 4s are 12, then this would become minus, isn't it? So, plus 11 minus 12 would be minus. In that case, no, you could instead of 3 pi, you could have written that as 4 pi minus pi by 3. Both are. So, if you use this 4 pi, 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, even multiple, it will be minus something, means it would be in the fourth quadrant. Or else you can use this 3 pi plus 2 pi by 3. 3 pi means here, how do you write this one? For this one you have to get the value of this one, that is 2 pi by 3 has to be calculated, isn't it? So, it is sine of 3 pi plus 2 pi by 3, this is what we have to calculate. Now, look at this one, here this is 0, if you come to here it is 1 pi, if you go here it is 2 pi, again if you come here this would be 3 pi, isn't it? It is 3 pi. So, 3 pi plus some angle, which quadrant it is coming? It is coming to the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, is the sign negative or positive? It is negative. Therefore, in the next one, what you have to write is, it is minus of sine of 2 pi by 3. I show the other method also, whichever you find easier you can do. Minus of sine 2 pi by 3, because this angle is lying in the third quadrant. So, minus of minus, it is plus. Now, write it as sine of 2 pi by 3. Now, this angle using the allied angle rule could be written as pi minus pi by 3. That is, if you take the LCM 3 minus 1, 2 pi by 3. Pi minus something, 180 minus something is in the second quadrant where sign is positive. Therefore, it is sine of pi by 3, again a standard value, it is root 3 by 2. So, you can get the value. Suppose, instead of dividing like this is also correct. If you divide it by 3 4 times, of course, the basic definition or the method of division is the remainder should always be less than this one, isn't it? Suppose you do like this to get an even number here, plus 11 minus 12 is minus 1. Then how do you write this one? This angle, now of course that minus sign is there, this can be written as minus sine of, you can write it as 4 pi minus pi by 3. See, in the previous first and second problem, I had plus 1 in the denominator, minus pi by 3. Look here, 4 pi minus something, 2 pi means first round, 4 pi means 4 pi minus something means it comes in the fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant also sign is negative. So, minus sine of pi by 3, okay, pi by 3. Therefore, minus of minus plus sine pi by 3 is root 3 by 2. So, both methods are correct. If you want to get this even multiple, then this becomes negative. So, third quadrant and fourth quadrant, in both the quadrants, no, it is negative. So, either you can write 3 pi plus something or 4 pi minus something, that is using as see 270 minus something, 360 minus something. Both methods are correct here. You get the same answer. So, this is the procedure we adopt. So, if it is an even, if it is an angle is given in either degrees also, you can follow the same procedure, or it is given in radian measure, be a little bit careful about how to solve the problem of this one. Now, in the next session, so these are the problems you can work out on allied angles here, making use of the rules of the allied angle. In the next session, I am going to do a derivation which is very important. It is always asked in the examination, final examination of first PO for a 5 or 6 mark question. So, go through it is a lengthy derivation, go through the derivation when I explain it clearly, and you do not by heart the derivation, always write the figure, then I will tell the procedure in the coming session. So, we will meet in the next session. Thank you.